morning, everyone. It would be great if everyone that is not talking could just mute him or herself, so that everyone in the meeting can enjoy the best sound possible. First of all, we would like to welcome all of you to our online event, Online Marketing for Hotels, in the context of the GTI Theme Days. We really want to thank Euregio and everyone else involved for setting all of this up, and of course thank everyone that is in this online event now for joining us. I guess we are quite a small group, but I hope it's going to be an interesting event anyway. As you can see from the title here, we have dedicated the next 2 hours to the motto back to school. You might ask yourself why. Our online marketing expert will give you numerous tips for improving your hotel online marketing. And just like in school, the focus will be on knowledge transfer today. However, unlike in some schools, we won't simply give a lecture to you, but also we want to create enough room for all of your questions. So feel free to write your questions anytime in the chat. And at the end of each presentation, we will then call you or answer your questions, and you can also feel free to raise your hand, but just don't simply do it via video, but use the raising the hand function in Microsoft Teams. And then at the end of each presentation, we will call you, and then you can unmute yourself and ask all of your questions. First to myself, my name is Tim Müller. I'm working in online BIRDS marketing and sales, and will lead you through this event and presentation. Before we start, I would like to talk a bit about online BIRDS just quickly, and then show you our timetable, and also present my colleagues to you as well. So Online BIRDS is an online marketing company with a 100% focus on hotels. We serve more than 300 hotels in around 12 countries. With our years of hotel experience and expert knowledge in the field of online marketing, we've already established ourselves as the market leader of the DACH region. And we were able to achieve this because we have a high performance team of around or almost 50 employees at the moment, in 3 locations, in Munich, Berlin, and Lisbon, who look after our clients the best they can, with a lot of love for the job and individual support. But now let's talk a bit more about online marketing and our timetable. We will first start with web design, and our team lead Lale will give you the top 10 tips for a perfect hotel homepage. Then afterwards, we're going to search engine optimization, and Kilian, our team lead for the SEO and SEA, will present you quick wins to improve your search engine visibility. And last but not least, Sophie, our team lead for social media, will present you tricks and tools to make your Instagram stories stand out. And as mentioned before, you will have the opportunity to ask all of your questions at the end of each presentation. And if there's time left, we can discuss more questions at the end. But now I will hand over to Lale for the web part.
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Lale. I'm at Online BIRDS for 6 months now. I'm the team lead of web design, and I will, just give me a second, I will start the presentation. Yes, I want to, we in our team, we support the hotels with their websites. So we build new websites, but also do the content and help the websites with supporting and developing their websites in the back end as well. So I will now start to, just give me a second, share my screen. Can you see it? Maybe you give me wait. No, sorry. Now you can see it?
Yep. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. So
it functions.
Thank you. So this is the presentation. So what I will give you the major tips we found out that you need for a perfect hotel homepage. Of course, you will know some of them, but it's always good to just look at your homepage and see if you can improve something all the time. And yeah, at the end, if you have questions, I will hope to answer them. So let's start right away. Why is the perfect homepage so important? Yeah, well, as you know, for example, especially in those times of Corona, for many of your future guests or first-time guests, the hotel homepage is the first impression they get from your hotel. So we always say, like, it's like the facade of your hotel. So first impression counts, and that's why you should put a lot of emphasis on your homepage. Of course, you want to impress the visitors of your homepage with your hotel, and yes, you want them to act. So either you want them to make a reservation or right away, or at least to stay in touch with you through subscribing to a newsletter or following you on social media. So we come to the tips. So my first tip is, of course, emotionality. So as you have noticed, probably you yourself, that if you use your mobile phone, you get more and more pictures and more videos on websites, on social media, etc. That's because videos and images work. They transport the emotions, and they transport on your homepage the emotions that people should get when about your website. So you want to transport the atmosphere that is created in your hotel or in the surroundings of your hotel on the website as well. And you can achieve them mainly by using high quality images, high quality videos as a first impression on your website. Of course, you should never forget, that's probably many of you will have experience with that as well. You have to be aware of page speed. That means that, yes, of course, a lot of videos are great, but they should never impact your page speed that negatively that the site doesn't load fast. If the site doesn't load fast, people tend to leave your site immediately. That's one of the major reasons for leaving a website, so be aware of that anyway. And I want to mention as well that, yes, images are important, videos are important, but there are still people, studies show that there are still like 30-40% of people who read through the text as well. So there you should also make an emphasis on the text as well. And also try to transport emotions there as well. So put individual personal text on welcoming texts that transport the feelings, that present the staff, the atmosphere on your website as well. Now, yes, the next tip is also, I think most of you do that intuitively, but make sure that you put on your website, on your homepage, pretty much on the top what makes you special. So if it's the surroundings, show the surroundings. If it's the design of your hotel, then put an emphasis on the design of the website. If it's special events or special offers, then put those on top and very easy to find on your website, especially on your homepage. 3. In terms of conversion, people want to find quickly what they're looking for. So it is very important that you put the main categories people are looking for, like rooms, like restaurant, like special offers, that you put them easy to find on the homepage, not only on the menu. So regarding the menu structure, this should always be easy to use and easy to find. So it should be easy to see the different categories in the menu, but also you can use, like I show here, for example, this one is one hotel we did. This is the Platzl Hotel. Sorry, I tried to open it. It's not working. Now it's working. this is an easy, good example where like the categories are placed very high on the homepage as well. So people scroll a little bit and there they can find different categories they, they are very interested in. For example, rooms. If we analyze our homepages, most of, or at least at all, on all of our homepages, the rooms are definitely the site that is clicked right after coming to homepage the most. So it's this mostly, most of the time, it is the second page people look at when they open hotel homepage. Yeah. Tip 4: make sure that you target the right customer group. So you probably know your customer group very well, and the hotel homepage should reflect that. So here on the low, you find a hotel with a rather younger, modern, and urban target group. So the homepage should also represent that. And here on the right, yes, there's an example how you can use a pop-up, for example, to speak to a special hotel group. So yeah, there are, of course, today possibilities that you can either even individualize your homepage regarding to the different target or different customer groups that come on your site. We for example, we started working with Hotelchamp. This is one tool, but there are many others where you can use pop-ups, or where you can do notifications for special target groups. For example, the tool notices who comes on your site, and if it's someone who lives nearby, who is from your region, they might give you a pop-up where you can make an offer for doing home office during Corona, for example, while you can also recognize that the visitor coming on your website is returning, so he has been on the website before, and you know that the data shows you, or it's a couple, so you give them a romantic offer, etc., on your homepage as well. So there are different, today there are a lot of possibilities to target your hotel group on the homepage individually as well. Yes, another very important point, of course, you want to increase the bookings, the direct bookings on your website. So it's always important that the path through booking until the end is as easy as possible. For the hotel homepage, that means that the booking item should always be emphasized. It should always be found very easily. So on this particular example here, you can see the book item here is in a different color than the other items, and studies shows that's always helpful to make it in a different color and very, how do you say, very recognizable. So easy to find for the eye. And also, make sure that the whole path, not only here on the homepage, if you put on booking, but that the path through the booking engine as well is as optimized as well and as easy to use for the customer. So meaning, only the information you really need has to be put in, so that the customer does not tend to leave the booking path if he or she finds it difficult. Yeah, here's another example. This is the Bad Ragaz, where you can also put a pop-up or booking pop-up. It is placed on the video on the homepage on top. So for people who already know that they want to book, it's very easy to find. This is one other possibility. Yes, and of course there are even more basic rules of usability that you should use on your homepage. So there is a trend nowadays that homepages get even more reduced. This means that the elements, less and less elements, especially on the menu bar, are put on the hotel homepage, and the customer has kind to find. But there are some elements that are learned that should be found easily. For example, it is always very helpful for the customer if he finds the phone number or the contact, any contact button, contact information, either on top of the homepage or somewhere sticky when you scroll, that it's still staying at the same place, so that you can click on it easily. Then, of course, the language selection is in the desktop version is to be found on the right, and in most of the mobile versions as well. And yeah, the menu should always be placed in sticky so that you can find it. And yeah, and also keep in mind that if you have a category, I show you here, for example. Yeah, this category, there are some rules here as well. So for example, the left category is always the one that is clicked the most. So it's people click from here to here, and the prioritization should represent that as well. But there's an example to this rule. So the button on the right is also clicked. Yeah, more often. So this is also is also an important button that you should keep in mind and use effectively. Just 1 second. Yeah, this is the same. Yeah, here you can also see, for example, what I said, like the language switch that people are used to find on the top. And here is also a sticky bar that keeps that stays on this at the same level with the contact information. Yeah, another very important thing are trust elements, of course. Here, yeah, use any how do you say, signature, or any award or any number you got for from Trust You, etc., and put it on your website, because studies also show that trust elements make people book, especially if they don't know your hotel personally, or they haven't been a guest before. So that always helps. You can also integrate testimonials or quotes from happy guests. Also for this category, you can use, for example, Hotelchamp or other tools that enable you to place notifications or pop-ups on your website, and you can place quotes and testimonials of your guests on your website, on your homepage, or later in the booking engine, for example. Yeah, you can see some examples here. A testimonial can also be very personal. It does not have to be just an element from Trust You, like here. It can also be a nice picture and a really nice quote written by a guest, or said by a guest. Social media. Of course, it's always good to have to increase your audience on social media, and you can use the website to get those customers. So, for example, here on the low end of the presentation, you can see the Platzl Hotel, and the icons of social media are put very prominent here on the website on the left. You can also put them on the bottom of your homepage, but for example, this is also very nice. And of course, there's more. You can, if you have a newsletter, then you can put the bottom for the newsletter inscription also on your website very prominently. I'll show you that. This is another possibility. It's a social wall. We integrated that on the Tegernsee Hotel, which is very nice. So if you have a very nice social media presentation and you have very nice pictures on your Instagram, for example, you can use those pictures and present them on the homepage as well. So this is, for example, the bottom on the homepage, and it shows the pictures on Instagram, which are really very nice. And if you're a fan of Instagram, you would definitely want to follow. Yes, and so you can make sure that these followers, they return to your website on a later occasion as well. Yes, another very important point. So we see that more and more that mobile gets more and more important. It's not, you cannot stop that. So from our experience, if we look at our hotels that we support, more than 50% of the customers who come on the websites come through mobile devices, and it's still growing. So, yeah, the number one rule is that the website should be optimal for mobile use as well. And especially if you develop a new website and think about redesigning your website, you should definitely use the most mobile first approach when developing a new website or new elements. That means that the design is built for the mobile screen first and not for the desktop screen, which was used to do before. Because of course you can imagine that on a mobile screen you don't have that much space. So it's really it's much harder to find the optimal design for a smaller space than for a desktop screen. So it makes more sense to start building the elements for the mobile side at first. Yeah, genau. And I should also mention that that also Google will use or is using already. I'm not sure, but in 2021 it will even put more emphasis on mobile first indexing as well. So it's also very important that your mobile presentation is optimized for conversion and for the customer. Yes, and of course, as I mentioned before, you should definitely be aware of page speed. So page speed will become more and more important for Google as well when it comes to ranking your site on Google. So page speed is not only important to keep the customer on your site and to not lose the customer and make the conversion, but also for your rankings in SEO, it is more and more important to have a good working website that is loading fast. So yeah, take a look. You can always test your your page speed with Google and see if you can make improvements there or not. Yes, and of course, I don't want to get into too much details, but you can always use what I want to mention, that you can always use your Google Analytics data to further optimize your homepage. So I listed here some main KPIs that show you if your homepage is working or not. I want to emphasize, for example, of course, the bounce rate. You should be aware if your bounce rate is going up or it's going down. If you speak to us, for example, to an agency or somebody who helps you with your website, you can ask them if like the quote of your bounce or the number of your bounce rate, if it's high or low in comparison to other hotels. So there is a kind of an average, I would say, that is normal, and that shows you as well if you should do improvements on your website as well. If the entry is fitting to the customer who comes to your site. You can also look at the bounce rate for different channels, for example, people coming from social media or visitors coming from Google. Maybe they have a different bounce rate, and maybe it would be better to create different landing pages for them instead of just showing your homepage. Yes, and of course, you can another very important number is the conversion rate in general for the whole homepage. Yes, and the session duration or the pages per session gives you also an indication if your homepage is interesting. So if the customer stays there longer or scrolls through it, clicks on certain buttons, etc., you have an indication that the homepage is interesting and makes the visitor want to stay and look at it. Yeah, another thing I would recommend is looking at the behavior flow, which I mentioned before, the path. So look at the landing page and look then here at the homepage. If it is the landing page, where do people go afterwards? That gives you an indication what is important for the customers, which sites are important for the customers, and how you should maybe place them on your homepage, if you should emphasize them and place them higher or more prominently, for example. Yes, and another very, very interesting, important tool is the heat map. You can easily find a tool online which helps you with that, which shows you, this is an example of Google, which shows you where people click on your homepage and what they are looking at your homepage the most. And this gives you also an indication on how your homepage is received by the customer. Yes, thank you for attention. That's it from my side. I don't know if you have any questions or if you want to place the questions later.
Yes, so far.
Sharing.
Thank you, Lale. So far, I couldn't see any questions in our chat yet, but if you have any questions right now, just feel free to raise your hand and ask all of your questions regarding the hotel website. But if not, we would just go on and hand over to Kilian, who will talk about search engine optimization.
Thank you, Tim. I would also like to welcome you to our event today. I'm very happy to talk to you today about the search engine optimization. As already mentioned, my name is Kilian. I'm the team lead of SEA and SEO. And I, of course, also hope that you can take a lot of information from this event today and also can optimize your website better afterwards. Also, what I want to do right now, as Lale did beforehand, I will share my screen with you so you can see the PowerPoint presentation which I prepared. Just 1 second. So I hope you can see my screen right now. So as Tim already mentioned, the topic is quick wins to improve your search engine visibility. So as the name already suggests, it's about SEO. And so first of all, before I start and dive deeper in this topic, I want to explain what SEO actually means. It gets used a lot, I think, and so I just wanted to take the time to actually talk to you about the definition, or one of the definitions which is out there. So SEO refers to the measures that serve to increase the visibility of a website and its content for users of a web search engine. So that's the first important part of SEO. And it's very important to know that it refers to the improvement of the unpaid results in the organic search engine rankings. So that means, for example, Google Ads or any other paid channel on the Google search, we cannot affect with all of this. So this is really just for organic results in the search engine. To sum it up, for some of you who are new to this topic, I also have found a very good GIF online, which sums it up quite well, I think. So what we want to do with SEO, we want to throw a good bait in the water to attract a lot of users and a lot of traffic for our website. And that actually is the reason why popular websites with a lot of traffic also actively are doing search engine optimization. Also, when you look at very big OTAs, for example, Booking, Expedia, and so on, they invest a lot of time and money into optimizing their pages so they can be found for relevant search queries. I want to give you a short overview of the topics and the agenda I want to go through with you today. I will switch soon into the Google Index, so you can see everything up close and personal. And I think it should give you a good insight in this whole topic and a good overview. And then I want to continue with my SEO tips. So first of all, I want to show you how to optimize your display in the index. So how you can make sure that actually a lot of people are clicking on your results. Then I want to talk about focus keywords, about content optimization. And in the end, I want to talk to you about optimization of Google My Business, which is your company profile on Google itself. So I would switch now into the Google Index. And what I would do now is I want to look for one keyword which is very generic, and it is called Hotel Amsterdam. And then we can just see what comes up after that. So we can see that first of all, we have a few ads on top of the page, and also we have a different searches here. We have the universal search up here. Then I click into the maps. So here we have the map search, and we have different prices, which is also very beneficial for different users, because you can see the different regions of the city and how much you would need to pay to stay there. Just a second. Then you have the image search, which is also a part of SEO. So you can see what comes up when you look for Hotel Amsterdam, which is of course pretty generic, but you can see that if, for example, you rank well with a picture on your website, you can also be found and generate traffic. So this is also something which is relevant. As you can see, we also have the news platform within Google, the shopping, and we have different other ones. I just want to focus mainly on this universal search up here, which you can see on the top. And I want to go through the results, which we can see on this page. So first of all, we can see that for Hotel Amsterdam, Google generated below 1 second, the engine generated more than 230 million results, which is a massive amount of data. And when we go through the results, we can see that the first 4 snippets are actually ads, so Google ads, which are paid for. You can see that by this little ad symbol on the top here. And as I said before, with SEO, we cannot affect those ads. So those are paid for, and you can, or you should, of course, also take advantage of this part of Google. But at the moment, so for our presentation right now, I don't want to get in more detail about those ads. When we scroll further down, we can see the Google Local Pack. And the Google Local Pack is very, very interesting because, first of all, you can select a time frame in which you would like to travel. You can select the amount of guests you want to travel with, and you have different categories also. For example, at the moment, free cancellation could be very important, so you can select that. And as you can see now, after I clicked on this category, I immediately got redirected into Google Travel. And this I also wanted to show you because Google Travel is a very important platform for all hotels, and it will, I think, become more and more relevant in the future, because you can see that a user can more or less plan the whole travel to a city, to a country within this platform. We have a lot of different categories, for example, things to do, flights, holiday rentals, and of course hotels. The user can scroll through the map here, can see where to stay, what we saw also earlier in the map overview. And here we have the almost 800 hotels which are listed here, and he can immediately compare between the different prices and also, for example, the reviews. So this is a very important platform which you should keep in mind if you, or check out if you haven't done so far. And it's important to know that those listings here, or the positioning of the listing, is also affected by the SEO. So another reason why search engine optimization is very important. When we scroll further down, we can see a few FAQs which are in relation to the search query we stated up here. But what we want to do right now is we want to look at the organic search results. As you can see, booking.com is the first result which is listed up here. And then we have another booking result, then Trivago, and so on. So you can see that the competition for this keyword, for example, is very high. And very many OTAs are listed in this search query overview here. Google decides which result is displayed for which search query based on the content of the website. So if we look at this one here, we would know that Google thinks that booking.com is the best result at the moment based on the content on this page here for the search query we just stated. You have to know that there are more than 200 ranking factors out there which contribute to where you actually rank with your URL and with your domain. And this algorithm is more or less updated every day. So it's very dynamic. So this means that you also have to be very dynamic when you do SEO. You can't just say, okay, I did it 1 year ago and my website should be fine. So you really have to continuously work on SEO and try to improve it to really stay up to date also when it comes to the algorithm. What I want to do next to start and go more into this topic of the tips which I want to present you, I want to state or make a brand search, which means I want to look for a hotel in specific. And I just looked for one hotel in Amsterdam and I came across the Hendricks Hotel. So I will just use this one as an example. And what I want to show you right now is, first of all, the index looks a little bit different. First of all, which is very obvious, we have the Google My Business profile here on the right side. What we don't have anymore is the local box because it's not, or the local pack, because it's not necessary anymore, because Google understands that at the moment we are directly looking for a brand already. And then we have also the booking ad up here. So this is one reason why you can see that it's very important that you as a hotel also try to protect your brand name by Google Ads. So you can make sure that they don't click on booking, but your official own website. And then down here, you have the organic search result of the Hendricks Hotel. And what I want to look into right now is the title and the meta description of this hotel. So the title is this topic, what I just marked in blue, and the description is this one text below. As you can see in this example, it's cut off, unfortunately, so it should be improved. And as you can also see, it is like the first impression a user gets before even clicking on the website and before even getting the chance to read the content on the page. So you want to make sure that those two things, title and description, are well optimized, not just for SEO purposes, but also for the purpose of presentation of your own hotel in the search index. But of course, you now probably want to know, how can I actually see what is implemented on my website and how can I change that? So what I want to do therefore is I click on this snippet, and so we are on the homepage of the Hendricks Hotel. And I want to show you the first possibility to look up the metadata on your website by just using the source code. The good thing is you don't need any additional tools to do so. So you just need to make a mouse click on the right side of your mouse and open up the source code. And when you have this open, you can just use Control F and look for a title. Then you can see the title up here, which we just also saw in the index. And when you look for description, you can see this description, which we just also saw in the index. So that's one method. It's, as you see, very time consuming and not as convenient for you. So I also wanted to give you my first tool tip of the day, and this is SEO Meta in one click. As you can see up here, I also have a link in my presentation in just a second. And as the name already tells you, you just need one click, and then you can see the title and the description, and also a lot of other important SEO metric in this little pop-up here. And it has also one benefit to it. You can see if the title or the description is too long, and this gives you a first insight in would you need to optimize anything, or is everything okay lengthwise. So that is my first tool tip I wanted to show you. And now I want to go back into the presentation and actually give you also a few, I hope, helpful tips when it really comes to the further optimization of the metadata. Okay, so first of all, a quick repetition of what we just said. So here I have it as a screenshot. We have the SEA, which is paid for. We have SEO, which is organic search results, which are based on Google algorithm. Then we have the local pack with the Google Travel platform, which is very important. And then, as I said, I want to start with the 4 SEO tips for quick results. The first thing what we looked into was the Hendrix Hotel. As I told you, you can look that up, for example, in the source code, and normally also in the back end or the content management system of your website, you can adjust this data and edit it if you want to, or if you have to. But now I want to actually tell you what's important when it comes to optimizing it. So first of all, and I think the Hendrix Hotel was a good example, you really have to or should make sure that it's not too long, because otherwise it can get cut off, especially on smartphones or maybe tablets. And this, of course, does not look very good. And also you lose the chance to give maybe important information to the user who can't see it at this point. So you should make sure that it's not too long. I copied in the requirements up here. Also, what we recommend is to insert the brand name in the title. Also, special characters, for example, arrows or suns, I can show you a few later on, are very good to draw the attention to your search result and increase the amount of clicks you get compared to other search results. And also what works very well is to have a call to action. Of course, you don't need to be very aggressive, but it is a very good practice to use something like click here, book now, get more information, something like this, to subconsciously give this call to action to the user. Then my tooltip, what I just told you or showed you, the SEO Meta in one click. It's a Google Chrome extension. If you look for it under the extensions tab in your Google Chrome browser, you find it instantly. And also I want to show you the SERP, so Search Engine Result Page Snippet Generator, from a tool which is very popular in the SEO community, which is called Sistrix. So I want to open that and show it to you for just a minute. This is very handy because here you can actually check a URL. So what I want to do, I want to copy in the URL of the Hendrix Hotel and show you how it works. So here instantly you have the title and the description, which is seen at the hotel's homepage, and you can see that Sistrix actually tells us that both of this information is too long. So what we could do, for example, we could, I just do it very quickly, it's not correct like this, but you could shorten it already within this tool. So then you can see if it works or not. And what you can also do, down here you can add special characters, for example, a heart, and then you can up here see how it looks on the mobile snippet and the desktop snippet. And it's a very easy and intuitive, I think, tool when it comes to optimizing your snippets. So that's actually the first tip what I wanted to give you. But in the end, I have one additional thing which is important when you optimize this data, and this is the keyword. You also want to implement the keyword in the title, but to do so, you of course need to know which keyword you should implement in the title for which URL, and so the previous keyword selection is very important. So that leads me to my second tip, and this is the definition of a focus keyword. So first of all, it's more or less about analyzing the demand and then identifying suitable keywords for your hotel. And when it comes to the question of which search terms your website should rank for, it is usually very advisable to take long tail keywords. Long tail keywords mean, I have it here in this little image, that you have keywords which have 3 or more words. Normally they have low competition and therefore it's fast and effective to build up rankings. On the other side, you have short tail keywords, for example, something what we looked up before, like Hotel Amsterdam would be a short tail keyword. It consists out of 1 or 2 words. It has a very high competition, and normally it's very slow and difficult and time and money consuming to build up rankings. So, for example, one long tail keyword would be 5-star boutique hotel Amsterdam, just as an example. After you identified keywords which would suit you or the offers you want to present in your hotel, you should also make sure that you check those keywords for search volume, which means if you have a keyword which nobody looks for, it's not very good to optimize on this keyword because it won't do any good and not any bad, so it won't increase your traffic. So you want to make sure that you check the search volume. And therefore, for this whole process, I also wanted to give you 2 tool tips. And first tip is Google Trends, which I want to look into with you. Sorry. Maybe some of you know Google Trends. I think it's a very handy topic. Sorry, it's in German. When it comes to checking out the overall trend of a certain topic at the moment or over the last few months. So what I wanted to look for, as I did before, is just Hotel Amsterdam. And then I want to look how the trend is worldwide. And I think it's pretty interesting, and it's also similar to many other hotel-related keywords. You can see that in the late spring, early summer, the search volume increased very steeply up here. And then from summer on, August, it also steeply decreased. You can see that end of 2020, it got a little bit of an increase again, and then it's pretty much on the same level. But what I thought in the preparation of this meeting today, it's very interesting to see that now it's already going uphill. So hopefully this trend will continue. Then what I also wanted to show you is another tool which is very handy, and this is the Google Ads Keyword Planner. I now will try to open it. A few hours ago, Google Ads unfortunately had a lot of trouble, so we couldn't open it anymore, but maybe it's fixed by now. I will just see. Okay, it looks good. It's a free tool, but what you need to do is you need to select one account which is connected to Google Ads. And what I do now is I just want to show you how you can check search volume. In here, it's very simple, but as I said, very, very fundamental to really make sure that the keywords you want to optimize on actually are looked for. So for example, I look for Hotel Amsterdam. Also, I look for 5-star Hotel Amsterdam. Yeah, let's just look at those 2 for now. You can implement thousands of keywords if you want to. You can also upload a file list from Excel, for example. And now you have the overview here. You also have a little time development of the keywords when it comes to mobile devices and devices overall. And you can see that Hotel Amsterdam, for example, has an average monthly search volume of 14,800. 5-star Hotel Amsterdam, just 5. This, for example, at the moment is in Germany. Just to tell you, this can also be selected so that you, for example, include the Netherlands. Then it will look totally different probably. Yeah, then you have much more search volume. But as you can see, what I said before, Hotel Amsterdam maybe has a lot of volume, but it will be also very hard, as we also already saw before, when it comes to optimizing on this keyword and actually getting good rankings for it, because there is a high competition, a lot of OTAs which are also optimizing for this. When you have a little bit of a more long tail keyword like 5-star Hotel Amsterdam, the volume is much smaller, but by optimizing on this, you first of all will have a higher chance of actually having good rankings for it. And the second factor, which is very, very important, that the traffic you generate through this keyword, in case you are a 5-star hotel, of course, will be of much higher quality, and so the traffic will be more useful for you. So I always advise to use a keyword which is more in the long tail area. Okay, so that's the topic when it comes to defining keywords. And now what I want to talk to you about is actually how you can optimize your website after you now optimized the display or the presentation of your snippet in the index. And now we defined keywords. Now we want to make sure that we are actually found for those keywords. And to do so, one very important topic is optimization of the content. And there are multiple ways to do so. What I wanted to show to you today is the re-optimization of existing content. This is very helpful, especially because many of our clients, which, for example, are coming to us, they already have, of course, a website, and they also have mostly a lot of content on their website. And before starting to blow up the website even further and creating more and more content, it is very advisable to use the content already existing on the page and try to take advantage of that and just optimize this existing content. Of course, you need to revision those texts on the website firsthand, and then what you need to do is you need to select one of your focus keywords or one focus topic, and you need to optimize this topic, one topic per URL. You can do that by highlighting important keywords in the text, so just try to use certain keywords more often than you did before. Also, for example, including keywords in the headlines, because headlines are important when it comes to how the crawler actually reads through the landing pages. The one thing what I just wanted to emphasize here is that you really need to show Google and also other search engines your keyword strategy, which means it won't do any good if you have, for example, a list of 15 keywords and you try to implement all of those 15 keywords on every URL of your domain, because then Google won't know, okay, what does this guy actually want with those different URLs. So really have to make sure that you try to describe one topic per URL, so the strategy is clear to Google and also to other search engines. What we want to do, or what we as SEO people want to do, is we want to improve the rankings first of all, but of course also we want to add value for the users, which means that we don't just want to include text or implement text on the website where we write the keyword in this text. We also want to really add value, and therefore I will in a few minutes show you a few examples of how we did it with a few of our existing customers already. This, as I said, gives you a short-term effect with mostly very little effort. So this is advisable when you really start doing SEO for your website. You should always start with this revision of the existing content before you create new URLs and new landing pages. One thing which is overall very important because it can or will have negative effects is keyword spamming. So when you optimize, or at least especially when you start optimizing, many people think that they need to use certain keywords very, very often, like 20 or 30 times in one page, but that is actually, or could actually be negative for the rankings. So really make sure that the text you write is still or still adds value to the user. That's most important. That you really try, of course, you should try to implement a certain keyword more often, but the overall focus should be to add value to your users and to your potential guests. Also, next to the optimization of the pure text, what I just talked about, it's of course also very important to have other content elements, because if we would just have web pages full of texts, as Lale also said beforehand, the usability wouldn't be very good, and also the conversion rate probably would be pretty bad. So what we recommend also in terms of search engine optimization is to use interactive content elements just to increase the engagement of the users. And also what Lale mentioned before, by doing so, we can ensure one topic which is very important for SEO, and this is the user signals. So for example, we can prolong the session duration, we can decrease the bounce rate, and to do so, you can implement interactive maps, for example, infographics, also just like alternating image and text sections are very good. And you can just use also some basics, just like formatting the content differently. What I, for example, like is using bullet points instead of just the blank text. And what I want to show you a few examples, of course, so you can also see what I mean by all of that. So one of our clients here, the Löwen Hotel Montaforn in Austria, I think this is a very nice example, because you can see that the website itself is very simple, but still you have all the necessary information. I think we have, so the formatting of the content is very nice. As you can see, we have bullet points, we have internal linking in here. So the user who looks for the wellness offers of this hotel should and will find all the necessary information in here. And what I also especially wanted to show you is this FAQ section, because the frequently asked questions for the wellness offer are stated below. You can also click on this button and then you can immediately see the answer. And we also implemented structured data from schema.org, which means that if someone in the search index looks for a question like this, this page and also with this question and with the answer will be displayed in the index immediately before even going on the website. So this is one technique which you might have seen with the big OTAs already, like Booking, Expedia. They use it for a while now, and you can also take advantage of that with your own website by stating FAQs and implementing the corresponding structured data. So that's a very big tip I wanted to give you. The next one is the Hard Rock Hotel in Davos, Switzerland. I just wanted to show you the rooms and suites overview, because I think this is a page every hotel has. What I thought is very user-friendly here is the filter function. So you can filter which category you want to look at, first of all. And then I think it's also very structured and gives you a very good overview of what to expect. And of course, also I wanted to show you the 3D tour of the reception, because this, of course, is like a especially high-end example of an interactive module on the website. So as you can see, you can click through the lobby here. You can also turn around, and you can see how the hotel looks inside even without being there. So this, of course, can and will increase the time you spend on such a website, and therefore can be very beneficial for the SEO and the ranking. Then the last example I brought for you is from one hotel which Lale also talked about, the Platzl Hotel here in Munich. And I wanted to show you this page because it talks about the sites or sightseeing possibilities in Munich. And I just wanted to give you this idea because it's not always necessary just to focus on hotel related topics. You can also try to give added value to your users by implementing something like this. So for example, what they could do when they are in Munich, which sites they should look at, and so on. And to give them even more information and make it more interactive, they also implemented a Google Maps card where they have different categories. For example, the green one here are restaurants, and then you can zoom in. And here you have all the tips with a short description, and you can also go to the website immediately and reserve a table, for example. So this is, I think, very handy for a user who never been to, or a guest who's never been to Munich, and gives definitely added value to your guests. Finally, now I want to go back to the presentation one more time and come to my last tip today, and this is the optimization of Google My Business. As I showed you beforehand when we looked up the Hendrix Hotel, you can see that, or you could see the Hendrix Hotel Google My Business profile. It's divided into different sections, which I will talk about in a second. First of all, it's very important because it's somewhat of the first impression to the user of your hotel. So you should make sure that everything is up to date. It gives like compact info about your hotel. So you can see the name. Then you also have a few links like the website directions. You can save it in like your own Google website collection. You can immediately call. You have a maps entry, a street view entry. So very many informations at one point. It's very important to optimize this profile as well because it improves the ranking on Google Maps and also favors the listing in the local pack, what we saw before. And besides the name, address, phone data, you can also see images, equipped features, like over here under hotel details, and of course the reviews, which are very important. Next to all of this stuff, you can also see providers which are associated with Google, like Agoda, Expedia, and so on. And you can immediately see the prices down here. This, just really quick, this is separate from Google Ads. So this is this product is called Google Hotel Ads. And I also, of course, recommend as a hotel to try to make a connection between your booking engine and Google so your prices can be shown here. And also, if you have any questions about this, you can let me know anytime. Now, the last slide is really about the optimization tips for Google My Business. So first of all, if you haven't done so, you should apply for ownership, which means Google normally creates a business profile automatically. So it could happen that a hotel has a profile without even knowing it. So you definitely should make sure that you claim ownership so you have the possibility to edit important information. Then, of course, continuously check the basic information and adapt if necessary, because we had a few cases also where we got informed by our clients that incorrect data can trigger negative guest experiences. So always make sure that your data is up to date. Then you should activate all necessary equipped features. I listed a few of those categories on the right side here. You can see that those get continuously updated. For example, we have health and safety category, also COVID-19 responder policy. So those are very like up to date. So you should really make sure to look at those and update those, because Google really gives you better rankings when you work with your profile and give Google more and more information. Also, what's very important, to store current images, including image categories, for example, interior or exterior view or restaurant and so on. By giving them categories, Google, it's easier for Google to actually know what's on the picture, and you should really always make sure that those pictures are current, because some hotels have pictures in the profile which are a few years old, maybe before the hotel got renovated, and now it looks totally different. So you should make sure also for the sake of your guests that everything is up to date in there. Also, I recommend to respond to all reviews in a timely manner. First of all, Google, of course, likes to see you interact with reviews, interact with the profile, but I think it's also very important. It doesn't matter if it's a positive or a negative review, to always give a feedback to your guests. In case, of course, what also can happen, that those reviews are maybe fake, or maybe someone wrote something who wasn't even in your hotel, maybe, then you of course have the chance to also delete those reviews. But this is not such an easy process. So I would really always try to check those and then also try to engage with the reviews. And my last tip is a 360-degree view or a video. Maybe you've seen that. This is similar to the one thing which I just showed to you from the Hard Rock Hotel in Davos. You can do that more or less with your smartphone. So there are various apps to do that, and especially now, if some areas in the hotel are not so crowded, you can use that time to really make those 360-degree pictures or videos, and then those can be also used and implemented in your Google My Business profile, and for example also on your website. So and by doing that, you could increase the session duration and the user signals in general. So very many benefits would come from that. Okay, so that was everything. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you got a lot of useful information out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me now, or also you can think about it. I think after Sophie's presentation, we also have time, but yeah, so I would hand over to you, Tim.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Kilian, for your insights on SEO. So far, I don't see any questions or raised hand here in our chat, but if you still want to ask any SEO related questions, doesn't necessarily have to be regarding the presentation. You can ask also more general SEO questions and concerns if you want. I think there's one hand now by Mr. Edwin Koch, if you want.
Yeah, I wanted to ask how important is in Bing or Yahoo? I think Google is the most important one, but is it also possible to do something on Bing for a specific target group?
That's a very good question. Definitely Google is in Europe the most used search engine at the moment. So it has, I looked up a few numbers. So until end of last year, I think it had more than 90% of the users used Google. But of course, the thing is, when you optimize your content in general, or your website in general, you of course automatically also optimize for other search engines like Bing, for example, or Yahoo, because the algorithms are pretty similar, of course. But of course, when it, for example, comes to the Google My Business profile, which was the last tip I gave you, there is also a separate profile on Bing, for example, and this is of course also important that you check other websites, other search engines, and also make sure that the presence of your hotel domain is also in order. So this, for example, would be then a specific topic you could do to optimize Bing to really also make sure that this profile is up to date there.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Are there any other questions? If not, I would hand over to Sophie for the social media part.
Yeah, hello everybody. I'm very happy to be here today, and it's a great honor and pleasure for me to talk about my favorite topic, social media. Yeah, so maybe I can give you the third part, introduction to our day, to today's back to school event. I will talk about tricks and tools to make your Instagram stories stand out. First of all, I'll give you a quick introduction about Instagram stories. The trend is quite a lot towards the Instagram stories, because people are more watching the stories. It's more like the behavior of the people. If you compare it to the years in the past, people loved a lot to watch just the posts and read, but the behavior changed. And now we're facing the problem that the people are kind of have all the content, a lot of content, and can scroll through stories the whole day. And the travel agencies and the hotels and all the travel industry has a great chance to present themselves there. So for the hotels, it's super important and crucial at the moment to not only post in their feeds, also creating stories. Like, the story is something that's always been watched and is watched daily from 9 to 5 and beyond that. So this is something I can highly recommend to do. And of course, if we hear, okay, stories, I need to do that daily. So this is quite intense in terms of marketing. We all know that it's not that easy for a hotel to have their own marketing manager. It's far away to have a known social media market manager. If it's hotel corporations, it's quite easy. But for a single hotel, this is too much. So I want to give you an introduction on how you can maybe save time and have an efficient process to have daily Instagram stories. And that's something I wanted to share, because always there are trends in social media daily. You might also have heard from reels and guides and IGTV. There are so many words out there and new terms that we have to define and have to evaluate if this is actually something we need to invest time and if there's an output or not. So I experience a lot that people are kind of lost in setting priorities when it comes to social media marketing, and that's why we're here today. Let's talk about the story. So what is a story? This feature allows short stories, and they are posted in the platform in real time. And a story contains of story snippets. So each snippet can be 15 seconds, for example. And after 24 hours, they are not visible in the story anymore, but then you have the option to put them or sort them into a so-called Instagram highlight. So you can kind of create categories of topics that you define yourself, and then sort in these stories that you have already posted, like a gallery on a website, if you want to compare it like that. I think it gets easier when I show you a little bit later, but I'm also sure that some of you already know about that. Which format can be the stories? It can be a live, which is something that you just click on the button and say, I go live now, and then you actually are live. So whatever you're doing in front of the camera will be seen there. And for examples in hotels, we see it quite a lot. Of course, before the COVID time, it was more likely to have filmed events or live cooking sessions, or you can also have a live check-in with your guests or an influencer, for example. So this was a quite successful tool, and you can tell people, oh, next Sunday there will be our lunch or our brunch in special, and there will be a singer, for example, and then you can join the music live and tune in and have the experience at your living room or something like that. So for hotels, it was a quite cool tool. Of course, it's a lot of work to organize, and it should be professional and not just like going around with the camera and stuff. So it also needs to be prepared. And then you're always free to just upload a picture. You can take the picture in the same second and use one of the filters from Instagram provided, or you can just upload it from your device. Another option is a video. So you just press the button and create a video instantly, or you just upload a video from your device. A new format that Instagram introduced is the Reels. the so-called Reels. This format is something that Instagram got inspired by TikTok. These kind of creative short videos can be either 15 seconds or 30 seconds, and it's all about video cutting and making cool trends and cool transitions. And we experienced a lot of creativity in the travel section, precisely from the bloggers and influencers in this field. They created amazing 15-second clips for hotels where they like film what they can do during the day, or they make a transition when they're at home, and then magically waking up in the hotel bed with a view or something like that. I will, maybe it's a good thing to look into this topic. It's not the topic of today, but it will be a big thing in the future. So I want to give this hint here that the Reels will be a big thing. Why? Because TikTok is taking over, and Facebook, the Facebook universe, and also Instagram is now a little bit afraid of this huge giant in the field. So they have to invest and make that tool great that the people are using, and that's currently the stories, and also the Reels are taking more and more over. How can we see that? For example, if you now look into your Instagram app, the Reels are very good represented in the middle of your button. So if you have your Explorer feed, the Reels are always in a more in a bigger place than the pictures, and more central. So whenever you post a reel, it will be more likely seen or has more reach, more potential to get more likes than just a picture, for example. So that's on purpose. Another tool for the stories is the super zoom. There you can focus, for example, on a cool cocktail and use this tool, and it's going like deep and focuses on the cocktail, and it's like an entertainment effect. So on stories, of course, we represent a business and we want to show the best authentic way, but it's also highly recommended to create content, especially in the stories, which are entertaining and make people want to go there, and putting out the USPs on a very emotional way. So people might be longing for a cocktail drink while sunset and like being in the nature or next to the pool, because they're trapped at home now during COVID and all these kind of things. So we need to try to bring up all the good memories and this urge to travel again, to fulfill these needs, and then maybe end up on a bucket list, travel bucket list, on a future next client. Another tool is the hands-free one. So if you don't want to press the button all the time, you can just select that and click once and do a video and walk around, for example. And we all know the boomerang. It's a slightly motion. So, for example, if you can go back and forth for stuff with the video tool, you click on it and you do it instantly. And for example, you can see clouds moving, or you capture like tiny movements, like the chimney when there's the fire cracking, stuff like that. It can be very emotional. So this is very common to do in the stories, and is quite easily done. So this is a good tip. If you are creating stories, you don't always have to do videos and photos. A boomerang is also something that's quite common, and people like that a lot. Then the maximum video length of a snap is currently 15 seconds, but you have a lot of options to do 50-second snaps. And if you do a video that it's longer than the 15 seconds, Instagram automatically cuts it, so you don't have to do that. What you can do is that you can link in the profile to other accounts. For example, if you belong to a hotel corporation, it might be also good to link them in the stories or to your partners, so they can reshare your content. That's something that's very common on Instagram, to tag other accounts and also locations to be seen and to be found and to have a higher reach. That's also like my second tip to the Instagram stories. Feel free to tag other pages. Just an example, you are a hotel in a city, and then you find maybe the destination page on Instagram. There might be more. Feel free to tag them. They're also happy to have content and to reshare. And then you might be discovered on this location when someone's on the location scouting for the next holiday. So that's something you can do very quick and easy. Also, the locations have their own stories. So if you travel to a city and you tag your story into this story, then you have the chance to be featured in the location story of the day, and you again have the potential to be seen by more people and to have a higher reach. So this extra effort brings, a lot of good features. What else can we do? So with every single thing we can upload or reshare in the stories, we can add a lot of creative things like emojis, texts, filters, gifs. We can also ask about the opinion, or we can make the potential clients or the clients and customers vote. We can, for example, ask, oh, you prefer summer, winter holiday, or what's the first location you want to travel to after the lockdown. So it's always good to get in this dialogue atmosphere, because people love to be asked and take action. This whole thing is also scientifically proved that people love to give just their opinion on stuff, and they like to be involved. So especially in our travel and hotel business, it's super important to not be like just a cool hotel and this is our perfect pictures from the website. Definitely not. It's more like engaging with the people and going down on that. We are in this together. Give us your opinion. We want to know about that. We also had, for example, a client who asked the people on Instagram what to name the newborn horse in their hotel. So why not asking and then making something cool out of it? So maybe try also in the daily routine, think about how you can involve the clients and customers. So how to do nice Instagram stories. So as we already heard, it's very good that you can just quickly upload from your phone. That's one option. So either you already have the content on your phone, the pictures, but then you will experience that it's quite hard to have always the right format for your pictures. So what we experience is that all the content we created for hotels is more likely for websites and maybe in the horizontal format, and then the pictures are not optimized for story and mobile format. So what we do is, for example, cutting the stories in advance and preparing them with tools like Photoshop or InDesign and creating templates so we can easily update them with the content of the day, and also have the CI and the unique look and feel. And these kind of stories are very good to upload once a week, for example, and then just to sort them in the highlights. Not all the stories have to be perfectly designed. That's just maybe one kind of content you can publish during the daily stuff you do. So this is an example from one of our clients, Tunis Alpenhof. It's like a very, let's say humble design, not too crazy. So we had a look at the website and we just stick to the CI. And then we implemented last year, or no, it's not even last year, the year before, a countdown to the opening, and then published daily like a topic of the day with the countdown, and shared some impressions to create a buzz for the opening. This is another example from the 7 Pines Kempinski Resort in Ibiza. We also created a lot of templates for them and also created pictures for them, because as we experienced, it's very likely that the social media content is not there, and it's really hard to find photographers who also provide boomerangs and all these kind of things that you need. Like the content you need is not so easy found or not just lying around. So you might also need help on that. Or you have somebody on property to do that, and then you can create, for example, here this is the Cone Club. We promoting the season closing, and that's another example of story with InDesign. With Thomas Alpenhof, we have another thing. We have the app Unfold. So with this, you work on your mobile device, and you can also have nice templates, and just by clicking on the picture, you can change the picture and have a topic of the day. Here is an example of the menu. There was a free course menu, and we introduced the dishes and a culinary experience on one of the days in the last season. So if you prefer to work on your mobile device, then working on the desktop, the Unfold app might be very helpful for you to create stories and cut pictures without using a professional design tool. There's an extended version of Unfold, which we love. It's called Unfold Brands. Within this app, you have the option to upload logos and fonts and pick colors, so you can just go there and upload everything from your hotel and then have it ready within the app, and then have the option to exchange the pictures and the style, depending on the content of your posts or your stories of the week. And here I will show you some examples how to do it in a practical way. That was all very theoretical, but I know it's hard to understand when I just describe the things. So I decided to show a little bit the app. So this is the Unfold app. It's a very cool design, and you find a lot of different templates to look at for your brand, and maybe you like it more classic or more fancy, or sometimes you find then even templates for a yearly review, and you can select 5 to 10 pictures and get a review of the year 2020. That's a super easy way to have a throwback of your year and easy content. Or for Valentine's Day, for example, they provided some templates to make a cool post. So we really like this app in terms of content creation, because it's already perfect, prepared for the Instagram story sizing, and super easy to handle and very quick in the process and the handling. So we decided that we have different content categories on basic, like our example in this Unfold case is the romantic hotels. It's a hotel corporation you might know, and you find it in a lot of different countries. And we have different content columns, and whenever we talk about the romantic blog, we use, for example, now this template and just give an idea of what you will find in the blog. And we also added this tiny icon, romantic blog, so you can click on it and or make a higher interaction. This is the profile. You can see it, how it looks. So just to get an idea. Unfold templates and the branded templates, and this is like the page. So I give you a quick video, show you around. You can also link in your biography to the recent topics. This is in German, the website, but just to get the idea, you click on the link in the biography, which is very common to use it in the posts. And then you can use, for example, the screencast tool of your device to give a preview of your the URL's destination. And sorry, now I jumped too much. Yeah, here we are. Yeah, so I once again give you the idea. You find the link in the biography. It's the bit.ly link, romantic blog Valentine's menu. And we mentioned this link also in the last post. And then you can, for example, say in your story, click the link in the biography, or if you have more than 10K followers, which is the case here, you're also allowed to just link within your stories. And then it looks like that. You click on it and you have within the Instagram link your website content. So you have also the option to increase your website traffic and the content part of your website. The next slide, I also just show you the video and then explain a little bit what we can see and what you can do with your Instagram. Again, we have the example of the romantic hotels. Now you can see when we published the story, there was like this colored cycle in the logo. This is the feed. Here you have the post where we say, oh, the link is in the biography. So people will know there is more information. So Instagram is just the teaser, and then we make a beautiful story and add this link to see more, and add the screencast, so to give a preview, so people might get attached and say, oh, I want to prepare this Valentine's menu for my beloved ones, and yeah, just go to the website and spend some time there. In the second video, I show you something else. You can also post a preview of posts in your story, which is very helpful. So whenever you publish content, you should let the audience know and publish it. You can also add a cool background when you prepare the design or a picture. You don't have to stick with the background Instagram gives you. So here we decided also to create a design for a preview post. So this is also one content column of a story, is the preview of the post, that it looks cool and interesting. So we want to catch the people in the story, that because we know they are watching the stories more than the algorithm gives the chance to be seen within just the usual algorithm. So we have the preview here within the stories, and then you can add something like a nice effect within the colors. You can catch the color here and then just post it within your story, for example, add the location tag and so on. And then I have one more thing to show. Uploading these stories. You can also create a folder on your device, so you have everything there, and you have then the story, and you can add the link here. This is possible when you have more than 10K followers. As we have the example here with the online BIRDS account, it was not possible. Here you see that you have also effects you can add on pictures or videos. So this is also something you might fancy to do to get some attention. And here you have then the Giphies. So you can have a highlight or something whatever is the topic. You feel free just to research and put it in to have something moving. Like whenever a picture or a story is moving, it's quite good for the engagement rate. We have also the option to add text, of course, or to tag hotels or partners. Then they have the option to repost, but what is cool that you can make it very small, like I showed it in the video. You just do with your fingers very, very small, and then you're not ruining the aesthetic atmosphere of the story, and still have the positive effect that the snap can be reposted. And then there's this quite new tool where you have more fonts, and you can make it bigger or smaller, or use any kind of color you want. So it's hard because you can spend so much time with getting creative here. But of course we should not get lost and just stick to the point and do the necessary stuff. There's also the option to create a countdown. So whatever you want to promote the opening. I know that's really hard to talk about this topic now because we don't know when, at least here in Germany, we will open the borders and the hotels again. So people want to travel also to Netherlands and so on. But you can maybe use this countdown as soon as you know, and people can get a reminder to the countdown and then get a push notification when the countdown is over. That's also quite cool. So post stories, post preview in stories, and upload story snaps. Here we go. Here you find, again, like a preview, how to have one content line within your social media and also promote the stories. First snap, you see the Facebook post. The second one, you see the Instagram post. We also try not to just cross-post the content within the different, like Instagram and Facebook, for example, because each of the platforms has different ways of linking and putting names and stuff. So if I link an Instagram account, it's not the name on Facebook, for example, and the account is not linked anymore. So we would really, really highly recommend on this that you separately post the content, even if it's the same text. For example, here we have the Facebook page is in German, but we also do provide a second language. two-language posting is also possible on Facebook, but not if you just cross-post from Instagram to Facebook. And you might also want to link in your Facebook post because it's possible. On Instagram, it's not. So we do this link in bio function. So as you can see, it really, really makes sense to have the same content. Of course, yeah, that makes sense. But each platform needs to be uploaded, yeah, in their own way, and how it's being used. Yeah, and once you have the post is out in the world, I say, maybe you post it manually, or you just use your content creator studio within the business manager to schedule your posts in advance, and then you can go ahead and upload your pre-created stories to Instagram, to the app, and also the screencast. So that's everything from my side. I hope I could give some tips to upgrade your Instagram stories, and also to let you know whatever you do on the Instagram stories, it's super helpful. Do it daily, even if you just repost something. Maybe the templates help you to save time and have a great look and feel. You don't have to be a great designer to do that. And the most important thing is to go out there and do it, and not just to be overprotective and not encouraged enough to do it. I know that it's really, really hard to catch up with all these trends out there, but I can just really recommend to do it, because that's such a big impact, and people see it, and you get to in their brain and in their memories, and they will find you again and book the hotels. Everything from my side. Any questions? I'd love a question. It's always good to talk about it. We can also look together into the app and do quick potential analysis if you want to do something like that, like if there's a hotel or stuff. If not, then maybe feel free to text us the next days or whenever you're ready.
Without the Netherlands, all modest. If they don't have questions. Geen vragen van jullie kant? De Duitsers hebben vaak minder interactie. Ik had van Nederlands wel iets meer interactie verwacht. Ja, when no questions are asked, then...
Well, if there are no more questions, I guess we would end this meeting today. Thank you very much again for inviting us to talk today, for setting all of this up. Thanks to all of you for taking part in this, even if we were a really small group of people. I hope you got some interesting new insights regarding your hotel online marketing. And if you have any further questions regarding all of those topics, feel free to contact us anytime.
Yeah, maybe it's good to mention that you have a special offer for the people here in our project, GTI. It's possible to have a check for you. Then you do a check from the social media channels or the website for the hotels in Holland. For German, or special for all languages, and we have a 50% finance via our project. I will do it in the Netherlands too. Dus voor our Dutch guest. Even voor jullie als ondernemers hebben we dus ook een deal gesloten met BIRDS om voor de voucher zeg maar die jullie hebben, of ongeveer de €1000 subsidie die we beschikbaar stellen tegen 50% regeling. Kunnen jullie ook gebruik maken van het aanbod van BIRDS om jullie website, jullie social media kanalen te checken. Jullie krijgen dan een adviesrapport zeg maar, wat jullie kunnen aanpakken. Stapsgewijs en ook een online video sessie 1-op-1 met de specialisten van BIRDS om jullie zeg maar verder te helpen in de vindbaarheid, met name in de Duitse taal. Dus mochten jullie er gebruik van maken, dan stuur me even een mailtje. En dan gaan we kijken of we dat kunnen regelen, zodat jullie de komende jaren zeg maar best afgesteld zijn voor de Duitse marktbewerking. Dus mocht je er interesse in hebben, dan laat het weten. I want to thank you all for your interesting back to school. I was 1.5 hours in school again, so very useful for me. I don't have a hotel, but even for me it was very useful. So I hope everyone has some information and some challenges for the next weeks. And hopefully the borders will open half May or whenever. I hope for Vroonlijknaam at 3 of June. So it would be nice. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day. En veel succes met het huiswerk. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Bye.
Yeah, same to you. Bye-bye.